Hey guys, before we get into the video, I just kind of want to show you where I am book-wise. I'm making pretty good progress, I have to say, but let me show you what I'm dealing with and why I have to still get rid of so many books. Hold on. All right, excuse the mess. These are the books that I have packed that are going into storage. Each one is packed full. They're like pretty sizable boxes. Those are the spare boxes. Please, again, excuse the mess. And then here, these are packed boxes that are coming with me to the new apartment. I've got like one more in my bedroom. It's a disaster in there, so I'm not going to show you guys. But that's the packed books I'm taking with me. And here are, these are the books that I'm going to be going through and unhauling today. As you can see, it's a massive pile, so let's go ahead and let's get into it. First unhaul is Home. I bought this one because the author had won the Pulitzer for a different book. Saint, this is by Ted Decker. I think I did read this. Rose Matter by Stephen King. There are a few Stephen King books that I am getting rid of that I have not read yet, unfortunately. The Secret Commonwealth. This is the Book of Dust, Volume 2. I am keeping the Book of Dust. I'm getting rid of this one. I did read what was that series he's so famous for? I can't remember. The Golden Compass series a while back. I didn't really like it all that much. So I kind of feel okay with getting rid of that one. Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. Black Hawk Down. I do still want to read this. I don't read very many military, like strictly military books, but I'm running out of room to take stuff. So I Am Malala. I still want to read that as well. This is Children of Virtue and Vengeance. I do have Children of Blood and Bone here somewhere. Beautiful covers, both of them. Children of Blood and Bone, I read most of. It wasn't my favorite, so it's gonna go. 10 Days in the Hill. Oh my gosh, I don't know what that was. 10 Days in the Hill. This author also won the Pulitzer for a different book. The Maltese Falcon. This is one of those books I hear about a lot that I feel like I should read, that I just don't have much interest in reading. So that's an easy one. The Pearl Diver. I read this a long time ago. The Lies of Locke Lamora. I always get that confused. I bought this because I was supposed to read it a month or two ago for a book club I'm in. I ended up not reading it just because there was a lot going on at the time. It's one of those fantasy books where I kind of think I might not enjoy it quite as much. I still would like to give it a try, but Telegraph Avenue. The Light Keepers. A Mighty Heart. Again, I'm not going to be explaining why I'm getting rid of all of these because obviously the reason for most of them is going to be the same. I don't have room for them. We've gone through this before, and this is also a huge unhaul, so I don't want it to be like an hour long. Serena. The Marriage Plot. I do have a few Jeffrey Eugenides. Is that how you say his last name? I'm not sure. I've got a few of his books that I'm going to try, but that one. Song of Solomon. Burning Point. What are you? You do not have a cover. Oh, this is an Anne Rice, Prince Lestat. This was supposed to be a different book. This was a book that had a cover, and I opened it up and I found out the cover did not match what the book was. The Lacuna, I think that's how you say that. This is Barbara Kingslover. Akin, I bought this because Emma Donoghue, I did recently read Room, and it was good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like I was crazy about her writing enough to want to read like all the books that she's written. So, and then The Sweetness of Water. Okay, next pile here. This is The Floor of the Sky. Never heard of it. I think I was just like roaming about in Second and Charles and I thought it looked interesting. I'm Still Here. Woven in Moonlight. This one is so cute. I love the cover. I'd love to read this still. It just seems like kind of like a cozy, magical book that you want to read in the middle of winter or something. But again, Mudbound. Mr. Penebra's 24-hour bookstore. Is that how you say that? Very bright cover. By the time you read this, I'll Be Dead. In the Shadow of the Banyan. Ooh. Valor. This is the second book of the series. The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. I can't figure out if this is this a collection of short stories? I think it is. And there are a few collections of short stories that I do really, really enjoy, but as a whole, it's not what I go to. Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls. Another Korean book. Black Elk Speaks. Class. Oh. Ignore how I just like hit myself in the head with that, please. Neon Gods. I read this. I did not enjoy it. I'm going to give this to one of my friends. I'm actually going to set this aside. She loves certain types of romance books, so I think she'll enjoy that one. The Invention of Wings. I don't know how to say this. Harrowin and the Sea of Stories. This looked really good, like a really interesting, unique fantasy, but these boons are not my child. Lost in a Good Book. I really do want to read The Air Affair. I'm also getting rid of somewhere in here that book as well, but that one I am just going to kind of keep on my TBR. So, Stealing Snow. My Name is Asher Lev. I still want to read this, but The Kingdom of Ohio. I'm getting rid of this one. Yes, I'm getting rid of this one. It must be done. Dolores Claiborne, another Stephen King. I feel okay with getting rid of some of his. I still want to read them, but I find his stuff all the time. He has so many books. I'm still keeping so many of his that it's okay. It's okay. And then we've got Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood. That's our first pile. Let me grab some more. Next, we've got Bluebird. Dominicana. I think that's how you say that. A Stranger in the House. Small Island. Andrea Levy. How do you pronounce this author? I can't pronounce anything today, apparently. I have quite a few of her books. I've heard really good things about her, and I have yet to read a single one of her books. The Far Field. Okay. At this point, I need to start being careful about where I'm putting stuff. The Ode Less Traveled. This is a book about writing poetry. Reading poetry. How to Be Alone. Don't know why I love this cover so much. I mean, it's someone in a bookstore, so obviously. And The 27th City by the same author. Jane Unlimited. I've had this one for a while. I read Kristen Cashore. I read a different book by her, and I went out and bought this, but it was a long time ago. Nightly Academy. Still looks cute. Spellman in Black. Diana Setterfield. I read, what was it? I can't remember the name. The 27th Tale or something like that. I loved it so much. I did try to read this one. I wasn't enjoying this one as much. I ended up DNFing it. But I do have a few of her other books, like Once Upon a River. I still really want to read that. Born a Crime. and the Random House Book of Ghost Stories. This is really cool, and it's got some of those like annotations and stuff that I like, some cool pictures. But next, the Book of Jonas, Charming Billy. This is another Alice McDermott, another author that I've heard really good things about. I bought a few of her books and I still haven't read any of them. Bring Me Their Hearts, fantasy retelling of something. I haven't read it. I think it'll be too young again. Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters. Funny cover. The 12 Trials of Hattie. Alice Munro. Was it Alice Munro I just had, or a different author? No, it was Alice McDermott. Too many Alices. Hate Ship, Friendship, Courtship, Love Ship, Marriage. This is a collection of short stories. The Blue Flower. Shadowing Claw. Another fantasy book. Never heard of, but I bought. We've got a few Colleen Oakes, Queen of Hearts and Blood of Wonderland. I really like the covers on these. I love Alice in Wonderland retellings, but should I take another gander at these maybe? Probably not, but I will. The Boys in the Trees. The Astral. Ex Libris. Ooh, it's starting to fall. Court of Frost and Starlight. I did read this series. I've got this one in a different cover. The Joy Luck Club. Still haven't read it. Still really want to read it. The Iliad of Homer. The Garden of Eden by Ernest Hemingway. The Pool of the Stars. Again, this is an Emma Donoghue book that I just bought. The Fireman. This is a big old book. The last Joe Hill book that I read, Horns, I really did not enjoy, but I do still want to give some of his other stuff a try. Unfortunately, and now is just not the time to do that. And then we've got Full Dark No Stars by his father, Stephen King. Let's grab some more. We are not even halfway there, so I need to speed this up a bit. Where You End. All right, scooch over books. The Enchantress of Florence, another Salman Rushdie that I'm getting rid of, as well as The Moor's Last Sigh. Diary of an Oxygen Thief. This is a really weird book. Crossed. Momentum. This is a book of poetry. Great Tales of Terror and the Supernatural. That's a heavy book. Lemony Snicket. This is his new series, the one that came out after A Series of Unfortunate Events. This is the second book in the series. I'm keeping the first one. We Are Called to Rise. No One Is Coming to Save Us. All right, you go up there, and I'm going to put you over here. Story. This has some really good advice in it. Luckily I found this at a Goodwill, which was very surprising. I heard about it from a YouTuber, his videos that I used to watch, and it was all about filmmaking and storytelling and stuff like that. And he quoted this book all the time. So when I saw it, I was like, amazing. And I haven't even cracked it open. So The First Time She Drowned. The Awakening by Nora Roberts, as well as Into Thin Air. Whoop, get out of here, ring light. The Queen of Blood. I do still really want to read this. Virginia Woolf by Hermione Lee. I think Virginia Woolf is fascinating. I've read some of her letters and stuff like that. A few of her, what was the book that I read of hers? What's the one that she's really famous for? We're not gonna stop and think about it because there's too many. The Last American Vampire. I'm keeping the first book in this series. The Lord of Opium. The Call of the Wild and White Fang. So handsome, such a handsome wolf. I've read both of those, love them so much, but again, One Dark Throne, I'm keeping the first book in this series as well. Daughter of Albion. The Tale of the Body Thief. Poor Anne Rice, she's just getting wiped out in my last haul and this haul. The Prague Cemetery. First They Killed My Father. Ooh, Mayflower. I'm keeping a few of the author's other works. And then Soul Music by Terry Pratchett. This is a Discworld novel. Although I don't think you have to read the Discworld novels in order. This is like number 10 in the series or something. Do you have to read them in order? I don't think you do. But either way, it's still gotta go. I need to not talk myself into trying to keep these books. Let me grab some more. Another pile. Land of Love and Drowning. Today will be different. I do want to read some of this author's other work. I am keeping Where'd You Go, Bernadette, because I think it's set in Alaska or Antarctica or something. But the other stuff I'm getting rid of. This is The Life. Don't ask me what it's about. I cannot remember. I've got some Libba Bray, this series, A Great and Terrible Beauty, The Sweet Farthing, and Rebel Angels. I did read this a long time ago. I don't remember much about it, honestly. So it's gonna go. Goodbye to All That by Robert Graves. Carmelo. A Primate's Memoir. I just bought this. The Finest Choice. This one sounds really cool. It's about these like sentient horses that were sent by the gods to help this people. Man, I really want to read it. Dreamers Often Lie. Picture Maker. Hawks Harbor. I recently read The Outsiders by this author. I loved it so much that it kills me to get rid of one of their other works, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And then The Collective. I think this is also a collection of short stories. I might be wrong. Either way. We've got Osprey Island. A novel of Zelda Fitzgerald, who I find very interesting and would love to read. This Is Where It Ends. I believe this is about a school shooter. Mo Said She Was Quirky. The House of the Scorpion. This seems to be more of a YA, so again, I'm okay with letting that one go. Their Eyes Were Watching God. I read this a long time ago, I believe for school. I don't think I'm going to be rereading it. George Lucas, A Life. Oop. Bellwether? Oh no. I thought this was Bewildered when I bought it, and I just recently found out that I was saying the title wrong. They Figured Wheel. This is also some poetry. I don't know why I said also. I didn't just list a poetry book. We've got a few of the Arthur trilogy. I've got book 1 and book 3, which really cool. I like it a lot, but these are heavy. Empire State. The Paperboy. Every time I see The Paperboy, I think of The Water Boy, and I'm like, no, I don't want to read that. The Girl in the Garden. Hunger. And Skeleton Crew, another Stephen King. We've got The Gods of Gotham. I bought this because I read a Lindsay Fay book, the Jane Steele one, I think it was. Again, I would like to read this one, but A Long Way from Home. This won the Booker Prize, so why am I getting rid of it? I think I read like the synopsis and I was like, might not be as interested in that one, I guess. The Massacre of Mankind. This is after The War of the Worlds. I just read that last month. And after reading it, I'm just like, it was fine, but I don't exactly care to continue. I know it's authorized by his estate. It's not his book, but Emily Alone. Half a War by Joe Abercrombie. This is not the first book in the series, which I do not have. Surprise, surprise. Perfect Storm. This scared me so much as a kid, this movie. That huge wave, like, give me monsters and murderers and stuff like that, and I can deal with it. But that huge wave, I remember just being terrified. In Perfect Light. The Wild Girls. You Were Here. The Day She Disappeared. A Prince Without a Kingdom. I really want to keep this one, but it is, I think, the second book in a series. It is a translated work, which I do try to keep those, but I don't have the first book. And then What You Break. Okay, please don't fall. Let me move all these and then I'll bring some other ones. Be right back. Gosh, this is exhausting. Okay. Next we have Arthur and George. You know what? I don't care if it topples. Just scooch over. Yep, then there it goes. That's okay. I'm just going to be bagging everything up. Scooch over. Good enough. Cast. The Weight of Heaven. This is another one of those authors where I read one of the books that they wrote, loved it so much, bought a lot of her other books and have not read them. People of the Book. The Hours. Keeper of Enchanted Rooms. The Kiss Curse. I don't have the X-Hex, I think is the first book. I haven't read that one yet, so I'm pretty sure they go together. Astray. Runaway. Beneath a Scarlet Sky. Georgia. I Was Told There'd Be Cake. The Vagrant. Palace Walk. An American Marriage. The Prince of Poison. Spare and Found Parts. Such a cool cover. Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister. I can't remember if I'm getting rid of a lot of my Gregory Maguire or just a few. I think I read this one though. And we've got Mirror Mirror by him as well. In the Time of Butterflies. I'm just happy to be here. Yeah, I got that title right. Okay. At the Water's Edge. Demon Dentist. Won the National Book Award, and I think it's for kids. But what a premise. Fate of the Tearling, as well as Invasion of the Tearling. I'm keeping the first book in the series, which, The Queen of the Tearling, I think. The Queen of the Tearling is the first book. I'm going to keep that one. These two I'm getting rid of until I know if I actually like the series. The Rules of Attraction. I Am the Messenger. City of Thieves. This is, oh gosh, I almost hit myself in the face with a book again. This is David Benioff, which I think is so funny. He was the Game of Thrones, like, producer, writer. So funny. The True History of Paradise. The Dove Keepers. A Spot of Bother. This is two Tennessee Williams plays, Orpheus Descending, as well as Suddenly Last Summer. When the King Comes Home. I think I read this a long time ago. Salvage the Bones. This Must Be the Place. Oh. Uh-oh. Elizabeth Costello. Before They Are Hanged. Again, this is not the first book in the series. A Meal in Winter. Showdown. I think I read this. A Raisin in the Sun. Read that as well. A lot of these not a lot. Some of these I have read. A lot of them I have not. But the ones I've read, I feel okay more than the others about letting go. The Highest Tide. The Punch Escrow, I think. The Kingdom on the Edge of Reality. Perfume. The 12 Lives of Samuel Hawley, A Reunion of Ghosts, Dinner at the Center of the Earth, The Book of Longings. Okay, everyone scoot to the side. Orange is the New Black, The Bane Chronicles. I'm keeping most of my Cassandra Clare books, but this one wasn't one that like meant a lot to me. So The Year She Left Us and Frog Music. Scooch up here, you. The Saints of Swallow Hill. And what are you? The Name of the Star. This one I've had for a while. The World That We Knew. Another Alice Hoffman. Next we have Ship Fever. This is another National Book Award winner that I haven't read and I'm getting rid of. Okay, we've got a few Stephen King books in the Dark Tower series. So first one is Dark Tower number 4, Wizard and Glass. I read the first book, The Gunslinger, this year. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Really want to continue with this series. However, I don't have book 2. I've got like 3 through 7. Are there 7 books in the series? So some of them, until I get book 2, it doesn't, yeah, look, book 7 right here, The Dark Tower. Book 7 is called The Dark Tower, okay. The Ghost of Hannah Mendez. Oop. Another Nora Roberts, unfortunately, Year 1. Everything. The Desert of Souls, which is, I love the colors, such a pretty cover. In the Shadow of the Cypress. The Last Painting of Sarah DeVos, don't know. Oh my goodness, I'm running out of room. The Municipalist, yep. And An Unfinished Life. Let's get some more. Oh my goodness, I need to move all this. I'm under control. I have it under control. What a lie. We're finally making some progress. The Lower River. Another Stephen King, Lizzie's Story. Lizzie? Why am I second guessing every word that's coming out of my mouth? I don't care if I'm pronouncing it right. This Is Going to Hurt. If Today Be Sweet. The Glass Magician. Beneath the Lion's Gaze. The Inferno. Oop, I grabbed 2. The Inferno of Dante. As well as Fences. The Sweetest Fruits. A Tale of Two Cities, as well as Great Expectations. 2 in 1. This Present Darkness by Frank Peretti. I think I read this. More Ted Dekker. We've got a series here, The Lost Books 1, 2, and 3. And another Ted Dekker, Water Walker, which I have not read. Pale Morning Light with Violet Swan. And Ursula K. Le Guin, Worlds of Exile and Illusion. I think I have 2 copies of this one. This is one with like that weird plastic cover on it that you can't take off. Look Both Ways. What Alice Forgot. How do you say her name? As a Star Wars fan, I should know this. Ashoka? I'm sure I'm just embarrassing myself. Whatever her name is. The Prophet. I did read that one as well. A Whistling Woman. The Bone Garden. We Keep the Dead Close. That's like a bold pink cover right there. Oh my goodness, Stephen King. Why do you write such big old books? Insomnia. Everybody Rise. The View from Castle Rock. The Glass Spare. I wanted to read this one so bad years and years ago and I never got to it. And then The Beak of the Finch, which won the Pulitzer. I'm really not interested in it as much just because it seems very like scientific nonfiction, don't care. Doesn't that sound so intelligent of me? It's nonfiction, who cares? All right, next we've got Sky in the Deep. Another Tennessee Williams, Streetcar Named Desire. Crown of Feathers. This is one where I think it has phoenixes. Like typically you'd be riding a dragon. This one they ride like phoenixes, which I'd rather a dragon. Dreamcatcher and Doohickey. They're too big. They're too big. Wait Till You See Me Dance. I need to gently set things down. I'm sorry. I always forget, like, whenever I'm editing the video after, I always realize late that I like slammed down all the books. The Invisible Life of Ivan Asenko. Gently place it. The Smell of Other People's Houses. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The Committed. This is, I think, an arc. Yeah. Open Fire. The Beauty in Breaking. Up in the Air. The Swerve. 13 Reasons Why. I think it's just too late for me to read this one, honestly. It's too late. The time has passed. Plain Song. And another Terry Pratchett. So sad. Jingo. We've got like 4 or 5 more piles. Let's do this. Ow. Paper cut. Paper cut. I'm going to have so much fun bagging these and carrying them to the car and from my car to the bookstore. And it'll only take me 5, 6 trips, but that's okay. The Lost Diary of Don Juan. Caleb's Crossing. The Elegance of the Hedgehog. What are you? Under the Tuscan Sun. Oh, Sun. Under the Tuscan Sun. I still want to read it. We've got, it depresses me getting rid of these Dark Tower books because I really want to continue the series. Why could I not have bought book 2? Because I wasn't thinking. Another Dark Tower. The Name of the Wind. This is one of those books where I feel like I should read it. I hear so many people really enjoy this book. It's so important to them. And I'm just kind of like, eh. Maybe I'll finally get to it one day and realize I'm obsessed with it. Fire and Blood. This is like the pre-Game of Thrones. I am keeping my other Game of Thrones books. I do want to read that series. I really enjoyed the TV show. It's one of the rare things where I have not read the book before watching the thing. But I'm more focused on actually reading the series rather than, oh, look at that. That's so cool. What came before? And then we've got Attorney Morrison, Paradise, Forest of 1,000 Lanterns. Another Tennessee Williams, The Glass Menagerie. I feel like I said that weird. Did I say that weird? The Unburied and Conversations with Myself. Next we've got Babel Tower. Scooch, everyone, scooch. Another Virginia Woolf. Another Virginia Woolf book. We Are the Weather. Holes. Stolen Lives. This is the one I got rid of in my previous unhaul that I had 2 of, so I'm getting rid of the second one now. Go Set a Watchman. And Anne Boleyn. This is the other of the 6 Tudor queens. But I want to read it so bad. But I should have read it by now. This is, I don't know why I got this or when I got this. This is the story of Mrs. Loveright and Perlis, her cat. Why? I can only guess that it was supposed to be a gift for one of my friend's kids. So luckily I am meeting said friend who has a child tonight. So perfect. there's one that I won't have to carry. Well, I still have to carry it, but you guys know what I mean. The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. Tulane? Oh. The Definitive History of the Best Bear in All the World. Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh. Wild Boy. This one, this is the Illustrated Fairy Tales of Hans Christian Andersen. I don't really like the cover so much. It looks like it's like a book about makeup. But inside, the illustrations are so cool. Look at that. It's so pretty. Nonetheless, the Chronicles of Harris Burdick. Who is Harris Burdick? What happened to him? I don't know. We've got some Shel Silverstein, unfortunately, falling up. I might give this to my friend as well. She might, actually a few of these. Yeah, her kids are around that age. We're gonna set all these aside. Everything on it, and A Light in the Attic. I am keeping Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein. And then we've got this big old Disney book, bigger than my face. This is One Day at Disney. I have flicked through this. It is really interesting and stuff, but I'm not one of those people that's like obsessed with Disney. So why do I have it? That's a great question that I won't have to answer soon. We've got 4 more piles. Let's grab them. We're so close to being done. It's almost time to celebrate. Last 3 piles here. We've got LA Weather, A Saint from Texas, Fall on Your Knees, beautiful cover, Unsheltered, yeah, Stephen King, this is Heartless in Atlantis, which I believe is a collection of stories from his world, which are all connected. So, The Harris Men, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I always felt, whenever I saw this, I'm pretty good with getting rid of things, just not books, but I feel like, look at how much I've gotten rid of. I no longer need this, which is a joke. Twilight of Avalon, The Clockwork Scarab, I'm losing my ability to speak, Mary Called Magdalene, In the Land of Giants, Stalking Jack the Ripper. I got rid of the rest of this series in my previous unhaul. I did read this one, I just didn't like it. And The Magician's Land. I have to read the first book in the series first before I decide I want to continue. As well as Shades of Grey. We've got this Jim Henson, Shadows of the Dark Crystal. All Things Ugly and All the Ugly and Wonderful Things. Let's butcher more of the names. Name all the animals. Bombay Time. The Shadow of the Wind. Our Tragic Universe, which is one of those really oddly shaped books and with the difficult like stickers that refuse to come off all the way. What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky. I read this last month. It's a collection of short stories. It was fine, but it didn't mean enough to me that I want to kind of keep it and have it around. This is The Way. No, Christina, you've got to get rid of them. 4 comedies. The Kite Runner, which I did read. I did really enjoy a long time ago, but again, am I going to reread it? Probably not. Prince Lestat, another Anne Rice. The Weight of Ink. I'm just going to start throwing these around. Portrait in Sepia? I'm guessing. The Woods by Harlan Coben. Really like Harlan Coben. Just don't have room for all of his books. Ace of Spades. This is a very recent purchase that I've heard good things about this book, but again, oh, this makes me sad. Another Alison Weir. I'm getting rid of all of her books. The Innocent Trader. Dave at Night. I did not know anything about this book. I think I just saw it and saw the artwork and immediately was like, oh. And this is the author of Ella Enchanted, which I loved when I was young. But I'm not young anymore, so Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I think it's hilarious that the author, Ian Fleming, wrote the 007 series, which I just read the first book in the series last month. Absolutely hated it, but it is so funny to me that the same guy who wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang wrote 007. This is the Lions of Judah. I have 4 books in the series. We've got The Gate of Heaven, Daughter of Deliverance, By Way of the Wilderness, and Till Shiloh Comes. I have read the whole series. I'm missing a few of them that I let someone borrow 10 plus years ago, never got back. I did really enjoy this series. It is like biblical historical fiction, but am I going to reread them? The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, Children of Blood and Bone. Again, I did such a cool look. It's such a cool cover, but I don't know. I read most of it. I just found the writing really like repetitive. Maybe I just need to give it a second chance in the future, but it still has to go for now. Whiteacre. This is the complete fairy tales by Hans Christian Andersen. That's a heavy book. Girl on the Golden Coin. I promise, guys, we are so close. Everyone Brave is Forgiven, which is a cool sounding title. The Girl Who Was Taken. And then last, we have The Deer Slayer. I love collecting like heritage books. I just think they're so cool, but this one also has quite a lot of damage to it. So is that it? I think that's it. Oh my gosh. I have to carry all these. They're so heavy. That's okay. It's gonna clear up space in my apartment, which is the point. Anyway, thank you guys if you've stuck through the whole video with me, thank you for sticking around. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me rip out my heart to get rid of these books. But it's okay. It's just material things. It's okay. I'm going to keep telling myself that until I believe it. Thanks, guys, for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.